Saw the boxer who died from Friday night's injuries, Maxim Dadashev. He died yesterday morning as a result of brain injuries suffered during an 11th round knockout. And that was Friday at the MGM in Maryland. He was just 28 years of age. And if you watch him and his body language, he looks like he's sitting in his corner on a chair, a stool, and you're sort of in and out of, reality there. But, his cornerman was trying to get him to stop. And, you can tap out in MMA, and that's okay. When you tap out in boxing, people look at you as Roberto Duran has found out the rest of his career, you tapped out. Boxers don't tap out. MMA, you can tap out. They got you in a position and hold, then you're not going to get out of it, or you risk, breaking a bone. Boxers, if they tap out, we look at them differently. And you see the injuries that happen all the time in MMA. The injuries with boxing, you can see some of the injuries, but it's more internal that you have to worry about. And when you suffer that concussion and what happened with this fighter, you're watching somebody dying. Like when I look at the video now, he's sitting in my mind, he's dying. And then he left the ring, and then he ended up dying at the age of 28. Yes, he.
MMA fighters, though, I don't watch a ton of MMA, but they don't seem to just give up, though. Like they usually tap out because they're being choked out, which feels like you're about to die, or that their arm is being bent in a way that if they don't tap out, it's going to break.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't just give up and say like, you know what, I've had enough, I'm done.
But you can.
But that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do in boxing.
Yeah, but you can't tap out in boxing.
Right.
It's looked down upon. Even when you're in trouble, you can look at somebody and say he's being choked out, or he could break his arm if he doesn't tap out. In boxing, we didn't know at the time, but you're watching him in the ring going back out there when he should have tapped out.
Right. So my point being, though, that they're forced to tap out.
Yeah.
They don't just volunteer it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in boxing, you would have to volunteer. You wouldn't be forced by somebody. You would just go, I'm going to throw in the towel. And then we look down upon that you gave up for some reason. Yeah, Paul.
There was a study by doctors at the University of Alberta, and they said the violence in MMA is much more visible to the naked eye, bumps and bruises, because of the less padding. So while it looks more violent, MMA, because there's more likely to be small cuts, abrasions, and blood on the mat, they said boxing is quite a bit more dangerous as far as you have a twice as much chance to be concussed in a boxing match compared to an MMA fight. You have a 7% chance, they said, of being concussed in a boxing match, a 4% chance in an MMA fight.
Also, the number of blows that it's accumulative in boxing. So you may face hundreds of punches, whereas in MMA, these matches last 11 seconds, 45 seconds. Less than 15 minutes, and there's less blows because you get to the point very quickly in MMA. Whereas it feels like it's a war of attrition in boxing of how long can I take these punches? How long can you take these punches? I go back to Ali with the rope-a-dope. The fact that he was saying to George Foreman, maybe the heaviest puncher in all of boxing, go ahead and continue to pound me. And he did it as strategy. And who knows what that did to Ali. Yeah, Paulie.
It's got to be so tough because the cornerman for Dadashev was Buddy McGirt, and he's trying to talk him into stopping, but he didn't stop the fight. He didn't throw in the towel until moments after. But this could have gone the other way. If this kid stands up and knocks the other guy out, we're talking about look at this guy. He was beaten the whole fight and then wins. And that's happened in other fights, like Mickey Ward. Mickey Ward, back in his day, used to get the hell kicked out of him and then would win a fight at the end.
But I am not listening to my boxer. If I'm the corner man and I've had that much experience, if your boxer can't even communicate, he was silent, sitting down. And that's where I can't send you back out there because I have to protect you from yourself. The boxer's going to want to go out there. Fighters are going to want to go out there. MMA fighters are going to want to go out there. But you have to look at that fighter and know that fighter. And if he's not that responsive, I can't send him back out there. Can't.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.